Chapter 8 The Rise of Rome. Section 1 Rome's Beginnings. The Origins of Rome. Main idea. Geography played an important role in the rise of Roman civilization. Italy is an important location in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. It is a long, narrow peninsula with a distinctive shape. It looks like a high-heeled boot jutting into the sea. The heel points toward Greece and the toe toward the island of Sicily. Across the top of the boot are the Alps, craggy mountains that separate Italy from European lands to the north. Another mountain range, the Apennines, runs all the way down the boot from north to south. The landscape of Italy is similar to that of Greece, but the Apennines are not as rugged as Greece's mountains. They can be crossed much more easily. As a result, the people who settle in Italy were not split up into small, isolated communities as the Greeks were. In addition, Italy had better farmland than Greece. Its mountain slopes level off to large, flat plains that are ideal for growing crops. With more capacity to produce food, Italy could support more people than Greece could. Historians know little about the first people to live in Italy. There is evidence, however, that groups from the north slipped through Italy's mountain passes between about 1500 BC and 1000 BC. Attracted by the mild climate and rich soil, a small but steady stream of newcomers settled in the hills and on the plains. Among these peoples were a Latin-speaking people who built the city of Rome on the plain of Latium in central Italy. Where was Rome located? Geography played a major part in the location of Rome. The site chosen for Rome was about 15 miles up the Tiber River from the Mediterranean Sea. The Tiber River gave the Romans a source of water and a way to the rest of the Mediterranean world. At the same time, Rome was far enough from the sea to escape raids by pirates. In addition, Rome was built on 7 hills. The Romans did this on purpose. The hills were very steep, making it easy to defend the city against enemy attack. Rome was also located at a place where people could easily cross the Tiber River. As a result, Rome became a stopping place for people traveling north and south in western Italy and for merchant ships sailing in the western Mediterranean. How did Rome begin? 2 different legends describe how Rome began. The traditional story is that twin brothers named Romulus and Remus founded the city. As babies, the boys were abandoned near the Tiber River. Rescued by a wolf and raised by a shepherd, they decided to build a city in 753 BC. The twins quarreled, however, and Remus made fun of the wall his brother was building. In a fury, Romulus lashed out at Remus and killed him. Romulus went on to become the first king of Rome, this new city he named after himself. The seeds of Rome are traced even farther back in the Aeneid, a famous epic by the Roman poet Virgil. The Aeneid is the story of the Trojan hero Aeneas, and he and a band of followers are said to have sailed the Mediterranean Sea after the Greeks captured Troy. After many adventures, the Trojans landed at the mouth of the Tiber. Through warfare and then marriage to the local king's daughter, Aeneas united the Trojans and some of the Latins, the local people. He thus became the father of the Romans. Historians are not sure how Rome began. They think that Latins lived in the area of Rome as early as 1000 BC. They built huts on Rome's hills, tended herds, and grew crops. Sometime between 800 BC and 700 BC, they decided to band together for protection. It was this community that became known as Rome. Early influences. After about 800 BC, other groups joined the Romans in Italy. 2 of these groups, the Greeks and the Etruscans, played a major role in shaping Roman civilization. Many Greeks came to southern Italy and Sicily between 750 BC and 550 BC, when Greece was busily building overseas colonies. From the Greeks, Romans learned to grow olives and grapes. They also adopted the Greek alphabet, and they would eventually model their architecture, sculpture, and literature after the Greeks. Rome's early growth was influenced most, however, by the Etruscans. The Etruscans lived north of Rome in Etruria. After 650 BC, they moved south and took control of Rome and most of Latium. The Etruscans were skilled metalworkers who became rich from mining and trade. They forced enslaved people to do the heaviest work and made their own lives comfortable. Their tomb paintings show men and women feasting, dancing, and playing music and sports. Some murals also show bloody battle scenes, revealing the Etruscans' pride in their military. The Etruscans changed Rome from a village of straw-roofed huts into a city of wood and brick buildings. They laid out streets, temples, and public buildings around a central square. Etruscans also taught Romans a new style of dress, featuring short cloaks and togas, loose garments draped over one shoulder. More importantly, the Etruscan army would serve as a model for the mighty army the Romans eventually assembled. Reading check. How did geography help the Romans prosper?